Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about one of the very important theorems in fluids, that is Bernoulli's theorem. And it is very interesting because we are able to apply this Bernoulli's theorem for understanding various phenomena which are occurring around us. So what is Bernoulli's theorem? Let's state that first. So according to this theorem, it states that the sum of kinetic energy per unit volume, pressure energy per unit volume, and potential energy per unit volume is constant for an ideal fluid. And here you need to mention the properties of ideal fluid also. What are the properties? The four properties. First, it's non-viscous. Second, it is streamlined. Third, it is incompressible. And fourth, it is irrotational. So it states that the sum of kinetic energy per unit volume, potential energy per unit volume, and pressure energy per unit volume is constant for an ideal fluid. Ideal fluid means I am writing all the four characteristics in short. For example, that means non-viscous, streamlined, incompressible, and irrotational. So for that we need to draw a diagram because we are going to derive that also. So first we will write the mathematical form of this Bernoulli's theorem. Just recall what is kinetic energy per unit volume. We had derived in the previous video, half rho v square. What is potential energy per unit volume? This was rho gh, we had derived it. And then what is pressure energy per unit volume? It is P. So it is constant for an ideal fluid. So let's draw the diagram for understanding this and deriving this. We have a pipe of non-uniform cross-sectional area. Suppose this distance is very small. We consider the velocity at this cross section as v1, at this cross section as v2. So as we have already discussed that this distance traveled in delta t time will be v1 delta t here, and this will be v2 delta t here, right? And we consider that the area of this cross section is a1 and this cross section is a2. So you can say that the volume at this cross section will be a1 v1 delta t. We have discussed this in the previous video. Why so? Because if we consider this as a1 and this height as v1 delta t, so volume is area of base into height, right? So from here you have got this volume here, and for the next cross section this will be a2 v2 and delta t, right? So from equation of continuity we had derived that a1 v1 is equal to a2 v2. Now here what concept is working? The concept which is working here is that if we have this height H2 for this cross section and this height H1 for this cross section. We know that at every cross section it will have pressure energy also and potential energy also and kinetic energy also. So whatever pressure difference is there, due to this pressure difference the fluid is moving, right? So we can say that work done by pressure energy difference is equal to change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy. We can write that. Yes. So from here we know that at first end how much is the pressure. Suppose P1 is the pressure and V1 is the volume minus P2 V2. From this we know that V1 is equal to V2 is equal to how much? Let's mark it V. So this is pressure energy difference. This is resulting in some work. Change in kinetic energy will be half M2 V2 square minus half M1 V1 square. Now again here by law of conservation of mass, M1 is equal to M2 is equal to M. Here we can write M2 GH2 minus M1 GH1, and again also here we are using this concept, right? So what will be the next step? If we write P1 minus P2, we are taking V common, volume common because this is same, and we are taking M common here, half common here. We can write V2 square minus V1 square plus I can take M also common because M1 and M2 is same, G also common, and this is H2 minus H1. Yes, so let's divide this whole equation by volume. So divide this by volume V. So what will we get? P1 minus P2 divided by V will become this. This is half M upon V. I'll write this. V2 square minus V1 square plus MGH2 minus H1 upon V. So from here this will be cancelled and what will we get? This is P1 minus P2 is equal to half rho V2 square minus V1 square plus rho G H2 minus H1, right? So if we rearrange the according to one coefficients over left side and two coefficients on right side, we will get P1 minus P2 is equal to half rho V2 square minus half rho V1 square plus rho G H2 minus rho G H1. So this gives me P1 plus half rho V1 square plus rho G H1 is equal to P2 plus half rho V2 square plus rho G H2. So this gives the Bernoulli's theorem, or you can say that this proves the Bernoulli's theorem, right? We'll take the applications in the next video. So that's all for now. Have a nice day.